Hi, and welcome back to the Peregrine Dame. This time, it's Cancun. Hi, I'm Rachel Parsons, and I travel alone. All over the world.
In order to show you
that traveling solo doesn't have to be so scary.
And that traveling alone doesn't mean you're lonely.
So don't wait for somebody to come with you. The world is not going to wait for you.
Yeah, don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Yeah. Be a Peregrine Dame.
Be a Peregrine Dame. Until the 1970s, the island of Cancun was a small fishing village. Then the Mexican government decided they wanted to build an international resort destination that would rival Acapulco, but on the east side of the country. Originally, the city of Cancun was developed to house all of the workers that were going to be employed by the resorts. Now it's a bustling workaday town of around 700,000 people.
Most of the people are not from Cancun.
This is Victor Garza. He owns a couple of businesses in the heart of the city.
You notice that? Everybody from somewhere else, from Mexico City. Everybody from Mexico City, from Yucatan, from Merida, from all parts of Mexico. They say that the true people from Cancun are in their 30s.
Victor's a transplant to Cancun himself from northern Mexico. I'll get back to him in a minute, but first I have a confession to make. Look, I'll be perfectly honest. I tell you, I did not intend to make an episode on one of the most heavily touristed resort cities in the world. I'm only here because originally I had wanted to film in Cuba, and I came to Cancun to try and get the Cuban consulate here to give me permission through Havana to go film there, and they said, well, they didn't say anything. It didn't work out. When they found out that I was American, they quit talking to me. They quit communicating, period. Which left me with an episode to pick up. So here I am. You can tell I'm thrilled, right? But the truth is, this is one of the most gorgeous stretches, long, white stretches of sand in the world. So, when life hands you long, white stretches of sand and brilliant blue water, you go for a swim. The home of this gorgeous stretch is the famous Zona Hotelera, or Hotel Zone. The beaches run the eastern length of the 20-kilometer-long island from the city center to the airport in the south. I've been knocking around Cancun for a few days now waiting on the Cubans, so I've already picked out the beach I like the best. My favorite beach so far for just hanging out away from most of the tourists, where it's popular with the locals, is Playa Delfines, or Dolphin Beach. The entire stretch of beach in the hotel zone is open to the public. So if you don't want to come as far south as Playa Delfines, you can walk through the lobby of any one of the large hotels along the zone and go straight out to the beach. It's no problem. But there's another reason this beach is my favorite. Located across the street and just to the south of Playa Delfines is one of 47 original Mayan sites that dot Cancun Island.
That used to be the Mayans' resort for the Mayan kings that lived in Chichen Itza in the peninsula of Yucatan. Cancun was destined to be a tourist resort.
Archaeologists discovered a lot of tools and things made here that were not from local materials. The Mayan had a very intricate trading network set up along the Caribbean coast. So Yucatan elites would come here and do a little business and then partake in a little pleasure on the same beaches that we enjoy today.
Cancun means snake nest because there was nothing but snakes here.
Whether that's true is up for debate. The word Cancun could have been derived from a reference to this area being the seat of a Mayan deity, a great plumed serpent. God, I love it when the fauna participate. The platforms you see with nothing on them are residential platforms. The Mayans would build up a foundation a couple of feet tall with stone and earth, and then they would build their homes on top with perishable material, wood and vines. They would also bury their dead amongst the foundation. See, something good does come out of the hotel zone. I shouldn't complain. I have no problem with big hotels, but My travel lifestyle is a bit different.
I'm still cranky because I didn't get to go to Cuba. So I have one last rant.
I know I get preachy sometimes, but this is exactly why. El Rey is right in the middle of the hotel zone. There are thousands of tourists lining this entire stretch back up into the city center, and this place is empty. There's no one here. It only costs $4 US to get in. I mean, I understand it's not high season right now either. It may be completely different in January, but it's amazing to see 700-year-old ruins. The entire civilization that was here before the Spaniards showed up. $4. And nobody's here. I just think it's a shame.
All right, I'm done.
Why did the Mayan kings build the resort in Cancun? They could have built it anywhere else. Why did they choose Cancun?
Because they were brilliant. My question, however, is,
Why travel alone if you're just going to come to an international resort destination, stick yourself in one of the international prisons, and sit with a bunch of your fellow countrymen? I'm from the US, and quite frankly, most of the hotel zone in Cancun is frequented by Americans who want to come spend their 2 weeks vacation lying on the beach.
Before it was nothing but American and Canadian, and a few, and now we're seeing a few American, a few Canadian, and everybody else from everywhere.
When I travel, I try to stay away from the tourist zones and get to know the real city and the native culture. And in the Yucatan Peninsula, that's very rich and very old, and there's a lot of history and some amazing people. So I'm not staying in the famed hotel zone, I'm staying in the city center.
I hop on the R1 bus, which runs the length of the zone 24 hours a day, and head into the city proper.
The bus system in Cancun is efficient, cheap, and easy to use.
When the Peregrine dame returns,
For being right smack in the middle of one of the busiest main streets in Cancun, Avenida de Tulum, this place is just quiet and peaceful and clean. It's just perfect.
This sucks.
I'm in Cancun, Mexico, alone after a failed attempt to get the Cuban government to give me permission to film in Havana. I found a peaceful boutique hotel in the city center outside the infamous hotel zone where most of the tourists stay.
For being right smack in the middle of one of the busiest main streets in Cancun, Avenida de Tulum, this place is just quiet and peaceful and clean. It's just perfect. Great price, nice people.
This sucks.
Forget what I said about quiet. The music was coming from another guest room. I've got a private room with a shared women-only bath, but these rooms share a high-vaulted ceiling. But here's the upside of not staying in the hotel zone.
Looks like I've checked into the one hostel in Mexico that's full of Mexicans. Most of the time, when you check into a hotel or hostel, you get, especially in a hostel, a very international experience.
Which can be a ton of fun, but I want to hang out with people from the country I'm in. So I spend a few minutes getting acquainted with the cast of characters here.
What are you going to say to people who come to Cancun? Anything?
If you have one opportunity for me for the star movie porno, let me know.
I'm sure offers will be flooding in.
So, Oscar wants me to get him into porn, Ignacio wants me to help him import wine from Spain. I don't actually think Adrian wants anything, and I can't even repeat what this one wants me to do. I'm just lucky he couldn't find the light button on the camera.
They have a light?
It does, but you're not going to find that if you couldn't find the record button.
Yeah, you sure you have a light here? Yeah, this doesn't have a light. I'm like a child, you see, like I press everything. Come on, what is it? Can you say what is the light?
No.
Incidentally, he was the one with the music up too loud. I think I might be better off in public, so I head over to Market 28, the huge shopping district in the absolute center of Cancun.
This place is a shopper's paradise. It's frequented by tourists and locals alike. You can find just about anything you need here, from the really cheap imports to really nice, genuine, handmade Mexican arts and crafts. everything is so bright, it's so pretty, it's so vibrant. Makes me want to completely redo my entire house with with Mexican ceramics.
But I opt for something practical instead.
Which color? I like that one. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, I caved. I wasn't gonna buy anything, and then some guy started blowing at me or waving his fan at me, and I had to have it because I'm sweating well, if I had balls, I'd be sweating them off, but I don't. I'm sweating my tuchus off right now. And the fan was really good, so I just spent $10 on a fan. But it was worth every penny.
But within the hour, I don't have to worry about the heat anymore.
Yow. We got here right in time for monsoon season.
I hop into the alley, a bar in the market square where I meet Victor, the owner.
How long have you lived in Cancun?
20 years.
Where were you from originally?
I'm originally from Monterrey, Mexico, which is north of us.
He owns the bar and India Bazaar, a high-end souvenir shop in Plaza Bonita adjacent to Market 28.
For some reason, the rain is good for business here. When it's real sunny, real beautiful, that's when it slows down because everybody goes to the beach.
As far as traveling alone goes, I don't think I've actually ever been in a city that's more conducive to traveling by yourself than Cancun.
I would say it's one of the safest places you can be in Mexico.
I would say don't hesitate to come. Don't hesitate to stay in the city center. You'll end up getting a much better feel and vibe for the place and the people.
There's issues like any place, but not bad. You know, tourists. The thing about Cancun is people worry about the tourists a lot because that's most of the people are related to business. There's nothing else here.
I haven't felt threatened. There has been nothing but help all over the place.
So security's pretty good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. They got my mom a Christmas present. Probably should have saved the money I just bought the tablecloth with and bought an umbrella instead.
Along with Market 28, there's one other mainstay of Cancun life that's worth visiting. It's within walking distance of my hotel.
Parque de las Palapas offers some of the best people watching you're going to find in Cancun. Down in the city center, every evening when things get cooler, hundreds of families come out and young couples come out. The food is amazing. You can get just about anything you want in the Mexican category from any of the vendors. The churros are fantastic. The vendors have some amazing arts and crafts to offer. Tonight, however, it's a little bit of a bust for me. When I realized I was going to be shooting in Cancun, I got on couch surfing, which, in my opinion, is one of the best travel resources that has ever existed anywhere in creation. Well, I posted my travel plans, and one guy by the name of Rafa agreed to come meet me. So we made arrangements to meet at Parque de las Palapas. But he flaked, and now I'm hanging out with the vendors who are closing down.
But it's all for the best.
Just a few minutes after I got back to the hotel, it started pouring. So, I guess it's all right, because had we been out or been still at the park and on foot, we would both be soaked right now.
Rafa eventually redeems himself, and we spend a hysterical night with a group of his friends at a karaoke bar, singing incredibly badly and having an absolute blast doing it.
The karaoke is incredibly popular in Cancun, and not just in the tourist destinations. The city center has several, probably more than several, I've counted several, like 3 or 4 so far, karaoke bars, which I think is a lot of fun, and everybody's very uninhibited, and it's just a normal thing to go do on any given Thursday night.
My time in Cancun is nearly over, and I've been pleasantly surprised by this young, energetic, but peaceful city at every turn. The once small fishing village on the edge of the Yucatan is constantly growing and shifting, promising a bright future for the residents and tourists alike.
Originally, I was going to spend my last day here in Cancun and go out to Isla Mujeres, But the weather's not cooperating, and if it's stormy, the ferries quit running, so I couldn't take the chance on getting stuck out there, which is a shame. So instead, I've decided to go to the Museum of Cancun.
The Museo Maya de Cancun, down in the hotel zone. It may be a young city, but I'm still fascinated by the area's ancient history.
Shit. It's closed. Yes, it's closed for repairs and renovations. This puts a whole friggin' crink in my day, though. As a matter of shooting an episode, I mean, I really need to do more than a couple of things and just go drinking for a few nights to make a whole friggin' show out of this destination. So Isla Mujeres fell through, as I can't take the chance on getting stuck. I have to leave Cancun tomorrow, basically. The museum's closed. So frustrating.
But if there's one thing I know, it's that Mexican food can make anything better. I decide to drown my sorrows in fat and tequila down on Yaxchilan Street back in the city, where hard-working locals come to play. I choose La Parrilla for the atmosphere, but I'm blown away by the food. I can't decide which kind of taco I want, so I get one of each.
Now that's how you make tacos.
And that's how you shut me up.
La Parrilla is a hoot. And I have to say, if I didn't have this camera, under other circumstances, I probably would not have bought my own song from a mariachi band. But it's some of the most fun I've had here all week. Don't be shy. Even if you're alone, don't pass up things that you might do if there were other people with you. Just go ahead and do it because, I mean, people will eat it up. But they find out you're by yourself. Like the waiter, who incidentally was shorter than me. Cannot believe I found somebody, a male, shorter than I am. Don't be inhibited just because you're alone. Do yourself a favor and reach out and do something silly and spontaneous once in a while. Because you're already traveling alone, right? I mean, you're already getting out there and being spontaneous. So, do yourself a favor because... I haven't laughed that hard in weeks and weeks.
I'm feeling much better now, so I decide to check out another of the nightlife hubs of the city, Plaza de Toros. My new friend Adrian from the hotel joins me.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hello.
Having fun?
Yeah, have fun.
The arena still hosts bullfights, but there's all sorts of other entertainment here as well. The street level is ringed with crowded bars and restaurants. There's something here to satisfy everyone. We start with something traditional. And then work our way around the plaza to the younger crowd. We're having a good chat when we realize we can't hear. But not because of the band. To avoid drowning, we wait for the rain to lighten, then we try to hail a cab right in front of the plaza.
Wow. Cabs in Cancun are everywhere. They're really cheap and they're normally really efficient, and not one, like the 7 that passed us, would not pick us up. And we think it's because we're near the hotel zone, which means they can go there and get a much higher rate for taking people back and forth than they could taking us around in the city center. But the bottom line is we're both soaked. The rain is warm, so it's okay.
That's funny. Funny.
Just wet. What cabbie won't pick somebody up in the rain? Who won't stop for 2 people who are soaked by the side of the road?
Finally, someone takes pity on us.
Funny for you.
It's funny for all of us. It's hysterical for me. Are you happy you met me?
Yeah. I'm happy.
Thrilled.
Yeah.
Thrilled.
Your face. It's so funny.
It's always the dumbest things that make me the happiest. I haven't been stuck out in the rain in, I don't know, forever. And as ludicrous as the situation was, it was still a lot of fun, but I've never had that many cabs and 2 buses completely pass me on the street. It's just insanity of the best kind. I had no intention of shooting here at all, and I really had my doubts. I really wanted to stay away from shooting a huge resort destination. But the truth is Cancun, the city that functions around that whole tourism industry, is really pretty cool. It's peaceful, it's calm, it's fun and beautiful. But I think Victor puts it best.
There's nothing like Cancun.
To see extra scenes and outtakes, head on over to theperigrindame.com.